display says it's streaming, but then it takes like 10 seconds.
Let's see. Is it happening? Hello?
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 I wish the computer would tell us when we were streaming, because that'd be nice.
Oh dear, what have we done?
Oh my god.
See, this is taking longer than it usually does, so I'm kind of like sweats.
Let's see. Let's check YouTube and see what the fuck
We
is
have to
happening.
check ourselves if we're live or not.
It says Issa Jazz, but that's not right.
Oh no.
What the
Oh
fuck?
no, wait, it's not saving our changes.
Yeah, what the heck?
Lindsay and Aurora mess up streaming.
Oh my god. What the fuck? Okay, wait. Do I need to, like, refresh? Sure, reload. Fuck it. Why not? Swear to Jesus. Oh! Here we are. What the fuck? I swear to God.
One moment, please.
Yeah, give me a sec to type all this crap back in.
Yeah, just to explain, every time that we hit stream, something goes wrong, and like it doesn't update our information in. It just uploads like whatever the last person was doing, but it's us talking. And really
Yeah.
confused. So, sorry to Issa Jazz.
Yeah. Oh my god.
We always accidentally stream as them.
Yeah, it's like their thumbnail and stuff. Like, I hate it. Because we changed the thumbnail, too. And then it's like, nope, you're gonna have this thumbnail. And, like, then the thumbnail for the actual video that gets posted later isn't our thumbnail.
Yeah.
And it's really annoying. And I hate it. And now I have to type all this bullshit back in. I'm very angry.
Well. You can just hear the clacking.
Yeah.
The anger clacking.
I'm not gonna Okay.
Please don't sue.
Hallelujah. Got all that shit typed in.
Does it just update automatically?
Yeah, it should.
Okay, cool.
It should do the thing.
Well, welcome back to Monster Mash.
Welcome to Monster Mash, the show for monsters by monsters, or by monsters for monsters. It's the same thing.
It is the exact same thing. This is episode 8. What's up? We've been doing this for like over 8 weeks because we've had weeks that we've skipped. Probably about 10 weeks now.
Yeah. That
That's
feels
pretty,
so weird.
I know, it's been 2 months. Well, for today, we're going to be talking about artists and murder.
Yeah.
Listen, it's fitting for finals week because
True.
let's be honest, everyone right now in art school who is in finals month, more like, is so on edge all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So totally understand it, Caravaggio.
Yeah. No. I feel you.
I feel you, dude. So I'm gonna be talking about Caravaggio as well as some like pretty random stuff eventually. But like for those of you that don't know, and I don't know how you don't know because I feel like art history classes in general like kind of are like they talk about Caravaggio a lot because he's a weird guy. But if you aren't in art school, then he's a really famous Italian Renaissance painter from the 1500s who has work in the Catholic Church to this day. He has 3 huge pieces in the Catholic Church. He's interesting. He's also one of the biggest unsolved murders. As to, like, nobody... Well, we can't even say murder because we don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, right?
When he was 30, he just
maybe
sort of
murder. Just kind
dropped
of
off the face of the earth. Let's get it. So he died around the age of 36, I believe. I think there's 3 ages that all vary online of when he probably died.
Yeah, they didn't keep records very good back in the 1500s.
Yeah, no, not very well. So it was either 32, 36, or 39.
Yeah.
So in his 30s. And not only is he a criminal, his death is also a huge mystery.
Yeah.
He was born in 1571 under the name of Michelangelo de Merisi. I might be botching that, so don't hate me, people. When he was 5 years old, his family was in Milan, which at the time the plague was happening. And unlike everyone else, they didn't flee for a very long time, and they all survived it. Even though at the time it was like, if you stayed, you were going to die.
Yeah.
But eventually they did decide to leave, and they went to a town called Caravaggio, which is where he gets his nickname from. People called him that back in the day, back in the 1500s, but, you know. And so he grows up plague-free. And he's a teenager now, and he's an art apprentice, and he befriends a cardinal from the Catholic Church. Great, like, he's making connections in art school.
Yeah.
My guys. And he was stoked about this because it was like, oh yeah, I'll get work now no matter how angry I am. So, he was commissioned to make 3 huge pieces of work inside the Catholic Church in Rome, telling the story of St. Matthew. His most famous work are these pieces, which the main one is the Calling of St. Matthew. Which, something about his art that's interesting is the fact that it's so representative of him. Like, there's so many lights and darks in it that it's just, like, there's so much contrast. And you can tell, like, that he is such a weird and twisted person just by looking at his art.
Yeah. I would put a picture of some of the art in the thumbnail, but, like, it's kind of gory, so.
Yeah, some of it's really gory.
I just put I think it's a self-portrait or whatever the fuck, but.
Probably, who knows.
It's him.
Yeah, so he was pretty liked in terms of his art. In terms of him, no one liked him. And he really didn't like that. Like, he wanted to be friends with people, but he had really bad anger issues.
Yeah.
And so what he did, he had a dog. I think the dog's name was Rex, if I remember correctly. But I might be wrong there. Don't fact check me.
Yeah, wait. Gotta put that in the description.
Oh, yeah, don't fact check us. That's, like, an important thing.
Yeah.
And so he would bring his dog to bars with him and make it do party tricks on the table.
What?
Yes. So he got lonely, and, like, he wanted friends. And so he would bring his dog with him to, like, social events and stuff, and just he would specifically make his dog stand on his hind legs and, like, bark. And, like, people would have to look, you know? Because, like, there's a dog standing like a human barking. Like, come on. Which, gotta say, if I were there, he'd be my best friend, like, immediately.
Yeah.
I'd probably get murdered, but he'd be my best friend. So, one of the famous outbursts that he had...
That's a good sign.
Yeah, he threw artichokes at a waiter in a restaurant because he said that they were, like, made wrong.
What?
He was so upset that they were cooked wrong that he threw them at the waiter.
I'm, like, yawning and laughing at the same time. Oh my god. That's a mood.
And then, like, he'd get really, like, envious of other artists, and so he'd get into fist fights with them. Imagine if this is how SVA was like.
Oh man, you just fist fight and throw artichokes at people?
Yeah, critique was like, you're just fist fighting other artists.
Oh my god. Honestly, I might be doing better.
Yeah. Honestly, me. And he also had, like, a huge issue with alcohol. Probably why he was at the bar.
Yeah.
With his dog. And one day, Caravaggio got into a huge fight with another Italian artist named Tomasoni, I believe. Once again, definitely botching this.
Yeah.
And Caravaggio lost his temper and murdered him in an attempt to castrate him.
Whoa.
Which is a lot. And this, like, people didn't know that Caravaggio murdered anybody up until 2002.
Jesus Christ.
when historians were going through a bunch of, like, old records and stuff, and, like, found, like, police reports, I guess.
Oh my
like,
God.
old, back in the day police reports about it.
Jesus. If you want to murder someone, just go back in time. Just go to the 1500s and fucking
exactly.
kill someone. They'll never find out.
And apparently this happened because they were fighting over a prostitute named Melandroni. And later evidence shows that he also killed another man that was a pimp. But then there's also other accounts that are saying that the pimp was the guy that he killed already. But he also tried to castrate this guy too.
Wow.
And so people up until 2002 actually thought that he was homosexual. They thought that he was a gay man because of the way that he would paint men.
Yeah.
He painted them very, like, very beautifully, I guess. like very, like, flamboyant and, like, feminine. So people were like, oh yeah, no, he's definitely gay. And, like, I guess, like, people back in the day also thought he was gay because of how, like, flamboyant he was.
Yeah.
In general, like, he, I guess, was a very, very, very flamboyant man. But then in 2002, when it came out that, like, he was fighting over a prostitute, people were sort of like, oh,
maybe not.
Oh, I guess not. And then they found out that back in the day there were Roman street fighting rules. And so pretty much if another man insults your woman, you're supposed to castrate him.
Oh my God.
So this implies that Caravaggio just, like, lashed out.
Wow.
But then there's also a lot of people that think that he swings both ways, and, like, that's the most likely situation, because there were so many, like, people that were like, oh, he's into men. That it's kind of like, yeah, I guess.
Maybe. Nobody's ever gonna know.
Yeah, no one will ever really know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but what exactly happened was that, like, whenever he was trying to castrate him, he pinned the dude to the ground and then accidentally killed him with a sword.
Whoa, wait. Accidentally. I was in the middle of yawning and I was just like, whoa, what?
Yeah, so apparently it was an accident, but, like...
How do you just accidentally kill someone with a sword?
Yeah, like...
That seems a little sus.
Felt cute. Might accidentally kill someone with a sword later. Yeah. So, he got kicked out of Rome. And he ran to Naples, but that's kind of when he disappeared for a bit. But some of the more fun stuff is that earlier, before he killed anybody, he got arrested because of a bar fight. Stayed there for about a year-ish, I think. And then once he got out, while he was leaving, a guard said, have a nice day. And then Caravaggio said, up your butt, and then was arrested for a year.
Up your butt.
Like, honestly, I know that he killed someone with a sword.
Yeah.
But, dude, I love him. He's so chaotic.
He's chaotic evil, for sure. My God. Have a nice day. Up your butt.
And the guard just threw him back into jail. That's so funny.
Oh my God.
So, something kind of important about the unsolved mystery of Caravaggio's young death and disappearance was some of the events leading up to it. At the time, there was something in the Catholic Church called indulgences, or pardons.
Yeah.
Where people could pay to go to heaven if they committed crimes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus doesn't agree with this.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And Caravaggio was so paranoid and wanted to get into heaven because he was like, oh, crap, I killed someone with a sword. But he had no money. Like, he wasn't making that much money from his art at the time. And so he asked the cardinal, and the cardinal that he had already befriended was like, yeah, sure, dude. But you need to paint something for us. And so Caravaggio, like, pours his soul into painting something. This one was called David with the Head of Goliath, which is, like, one of the more gruesome paintings that he's done. And it's supposedly supposed to represent him being defeated, because it kind of, like, the head of Goliath sort of looks like Caravaggio, which is, like, a fun detail.
Yeah.
And on his way to deliver this piece to the cardinal, he was never seen again. And I think he was taking a boat there. And so there's so many theories. Because the reason why people don't think that it was just a wreck was because the painting was found later on intact, as if someone stole it. So the biggest theory is that he was killed by pirates.
Wow.
And then there's also the theory that he died of, like, a disease, and someone else was on the boat that, like, kind of delivered the piece still. But, like, there just weren't a lot of accounts back then that could really figure this out. But apparently it's, like, one of the greatest, like, unsolved crimes in the art world. Yeah. Because it's, like, no one knows what happened at all.
Yeah, it's just, like, nobody, like... And plus, everybody back then, like, just didn't fucking... Like,
no one, like, really cared at that point.
Yeah, like, you just fucked off and did your own thing, like...
Because, like, also he had so many competitors in the art world that, like,
nobody
people
cared.
weren't going to be like, oh, what happened to Caravaggio?
It's like,
so sad.
He's gone. What a tragedy. Anyways.
Yeah, anyways, look at my new painting.
My god.
Yeah, no, it's really odd.
Yeah.
He's an incredibly odd person. But honestly, he's one of my favorite things in art history, because it's like, the dude's wild.
Yeah.
What a madman.
What an absolute madman.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, wow, Caravaggio. Just throwing artichokes at people. Telling people to shove stuff up their butt.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Up your butt.
Gets arrested.
I want a shirt with that on it and, like, a picture of Caravaggio.
I know.
Oh my god.
My god. He's... Oh.
He's a special boy.
Yeah, I don't... Like, it's also really interesting because all the different, like, versions of his story are out there, and, like, they all vary. But, like, I mean, he did kill someone. At least one person.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, that one guy with the sword.
On accident.
And he did disappear. But there's a lot of, like, small details and stuff that change and vary based on account.
Yeah.
But, yeah, yeah.
Wow. I want to, like, this doesn't really have to do with any of this, but, like, no, but, like, my favorite sculpture it's got a weird story behind it, so, like, let me see if I can find the statue. Lucifer statue. Of course it's a statue of Lucifer. Like, let's see. Okay, so there are two of these sculptures. I'm gonna try to put a picture of either one up here, because it's just, you know, it's special to me. They're really great statues, too. It's like, they're really good. Okay, there's that one. There's a second one somewhere down here, for sure. For sure. Where the fuck is it? There it is. Yeah. Sorry, this is taking so long.
It's okay.
Okay, so, like, there are these two statues of Lucifer that exist, and basically the first one was commissioned by the Catholic Church, and I don't know why they would want a statue of Lucifer, like, in their church, but they commissioned it from this sculptor, and I don't remember the name of the sculptor, but the statue he made, which should be appearing on screen at some point soon, they deemed the sculpture, like, too sexy.
What?
Like, it was too, like, because girls would come to, like, the church and like, look at this statue of Lucifer, and, like, nuns would stare at it, and so they had to commission another sculpture, and they commissioned it from this dude's brother. So the sculptor who did the first statue had a brother who was also a sculptor, and they commissioned him instead to make another statue of Lucifer.
Oh my god.
And this statue, let me get the picture up there and you'll see. This statue is like 10,000 times sexier than the first one.
Oh my god.
Like, he is so sexy. So now the Catholic Church has 2 fucking sexy Lucifer statues. And they didn't have enough money to commission, like, a 3rd one. So they had to keep these 2.
They're just like, dang it.
And, yeah, that's my favorite, like... The second statue, the one on the right side, is actually, like, my favorite piece of art, like, ever. I fucking love it. And I love the story behind it. The Catholic Church
it's really
was, like,
well done.
Yeah, the Catholic Church was, like, too sexy. Yeah, but this one, like, made more people, like, stare at it. I kind of want a tattoo of this one. The one on the right, because, oof. Hello.
Valid.
Hello, Lucifer. But, like, also, it kind of makes sense that they made him kind of sexy, because, like, if you've actually read the Bible, you know that Lucifer is, like, a fallen angel, and, like, he was God's favorite. So, he, like, probably is at least kind of, you know, kind of sexy.
Yeah.
Not saying that Satan is hot, but Satan is probably hot, if he exists. You know, anyways, no, but, and he has blue eyes to remind him of where he came from, because, like, was it God's punishment? I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've fucking read Bible stuff, but,
You know
yeah.
what? You know, what I could be talking about right now?
Ooh, what?
Vincent van Gogh.
Oh, shit.
I just found something very interesting.
Ooh.
I actually, this was my original plan for this episode, but then I couldn't find that much. But I just found some stuff, on whether or not Vincent van Gogh was, murdered, or if it was a suicide. Now, it's commonly believed that it was a suicide.
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet, because I'm about to go through some stuff.
Ooh.
But it does seem to be really strange.
Yeah.
Some of the things. He was depressed. He was like a crazy dude.
Yeah.
Growing up. Then he like cut off his ear and give it to a prostitute.
Yeah.
That was
To
his
like
whole
a
thing,
woman
right?
he was in love with, yeah.
Yeah, and then she was like, dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
He
I don't want your
also-
ear.
He ate yellow paint, specifically yellow.
Oh, yeah, wasn't it like cadmium yellow or something like that?
Yeah, he ate, like, it was specifically that color, too. He was like, yeah, that one, like, because since it was, like, a happy color, it was supposed to make him, like, happy by eating it or something. Like, make him happy on the inside. Like, I can't remember, but, yeah, he was very mentally ill.
Yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me if it were a suicide.
Yeah, for sure.
And it probably is.
Yeah.
But
also
possible murder. So, the interesting stuff was that this man, he wrote a lot of letters throughout his life.
Yeah.
Like a lot to his brother.
Yeah.
Constantly letting people know how he was feeling, what was going on in his life, and the weirdest thing to everybody was that he never left a suicide note.
Mhm.
When he like constantly was writing stuff like this.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really make too much sense with him as a person, I guess. Also, none of the earliest accounts of like the shooting, those written in the days like right after the event, mentioned suicide. They just said that Van Gogh has wounded himself.
Yeah.
But I guess like the town afterwards was like also like incredibly silent about it. Like they were kind of like weird about what happened, I guess. Like the police didn't really like talking about it. Like the townspeople didn't like talking about it. Like it was just like a weird touchy subject. His deathbed doctors, which were like I think 3 people, couldn't make any sense of his wounds. Like they didn't understand how they happened. They knew that it was from gunshot, but they didn't know how he could do it to himself.
Yeah.
And it was also, they were kind of confused why he tried to kill himself with a shot to his midsection.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because, like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's not usually where you, shoot to kill yourself.
Yeah, and then rather than, him finishing himself off, he staggered a mile back to his room in agonizing pain from a bullet in his stomach. Like, he didn't just, like, finish himself off.
Yeah, that's not how you kill yourself.
Yeah, it's, like, it doesn't make much sense just because of the fact that, like, unless he tried to kill himself and immediately regretted it, but, like...
Yeah, or if, I mean, he was, like, kind of weird in the head, so maybe he was just like, I don't fucking know. Like,
maybe he just, like... You know, he did cut off a piece of his ear.
Yeah.
So, like, nothing really made sense in his head. Maybe he didn't even mean to kill himself.
Yeah, and ate yellow paint, like...
Yeah. But a lot of people do believe that, like, he might have been shot by someone. Because I think that, like, a lot of, people think that, I think that the woman that he sent his ear to might have done it, or, like, someone that had a crush on the woman.
Yeah.
Might have done it as well. And I guess, like, whenever he was on his deathbed, people were asking him, did you intend to commit suicide? And he said, I don't know, with a puzzled expression. Like, he couldn't remember anything that happened. And it was, like, it was just really strange, I guess. There were a lot of, like, weird details about it. But, like, he was also so weird.
Yeah. Also, by the way, Van Gogh wrote to his, like, to his when he was at his, like, psychiatrist or physician or whatever, he said that he wanted to eat paint and drink turpentine to kill himself.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Like, he wanted to poison himself.
Oh, jeez. That's so wild. I think that, like, a lot of people at the time, like, what a lot of people today have come to believe is that he was murdered, but at the time they were trying to push this narrative of him killing himself because he was just now getting accepted into the art world. And, like, they wanted to make it more dramatic and, like, make it seem like his pieces were a lot more, like, emotional, even though they already were. It's just, like, they were trying to push, like, this idea of, like, oh, these are the paintings right before he, like, killed himself. But it's, like, I don't know.
Yeah, shit's weird.
Shit's so weird.
Another one where it's, like, record keeping would have been very helpful. Yeah,
but it was very back in the day as well, right? I don't know what era this was.
Yeah, it was,
18?
Yeah, like, 17? God, I can't remember when Impressionism was. I'm a bad art student.
Yeah, no, me too. It's okay. I mean...
It's fine.
Hang on. I'm gonna look this up because I want to know what time.
Yeah. Oh, man, I have some art theft stuff.
Okay, 1800s, 1890s.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I was right.
Yeah.
It was in that time period. It was more... Yeah. God. Do you know anything else you want to talk about?
I mean, I have some art theft stuff.
Oh, go into it, please. I want to hear about art theft. I love art theft. Not... That's bad to say as an art student. But I just, like, I really like the stories of, like, people just, like... I love the aesthetic of, like, these people, like, breaking through the glass of a museum, sliding under lasers. Like,
it's like the Pink Panther.
Yeah, very, like, secret agent stealing all these paintings.
It just makes me think of, either the Pink Panther 2, where they're, like, following an art thief.
Oh, yeah.
Or, the TV show Psych, there's, like, a character who's an art thief, and, like, he's really cool. Anyways, that's my favorite show, and like literally nobody I know has ever seen it. Anyways, art theft. So, some backstory. Salvador Dali was supposed to teach an art class at a prison in 1965, and it was at Rikers, which is a prison in New York. Yeah, it's on Law and Order SVU, so it's New York.
Yeah.
The only reason I know anything about this is because of Law and Order SVU.
Thank God.
Raphael Barba deserved better. Anyways.
Oh my God. Don't even.
He did. Fucking, they did my boy wrong. But anyways. So, Dali, like, made a sketch to be displayed in the prison, like, as a kind of like an apology thing. So, because he canceled the art class, so.
Yeah.
And it had been displayed at Rikers for decades, and the work was originally hung up in the cafeteria near trash cans, where it collected a handful of ketchup stains, and officials transferred it into the lobby, thinking that it would be safer in the lobby. But in 2003, 4 prison guards, like, worked together to take the sketch, and they put on a fake fire alarm to distract the 24-hour guard, and the replica that they hung in its place was, like, really bad.
Oh my God!
The New York Times said that the fake Dali seemed to have been drawn by a child, one with no artistic talent. And even more, like, suspicious, like, this drawing was stapled to the back of the case rather than displayed in the original frame. And unsurprisingly, other members of the staff at Rikers noticed that the, like, sketch was different, and then the thieves were outed. So, like, they tried, but they failed.
God, I love art theft. It's so funny.
Yeah, some of them are just like, wow. Let's see. What other ones do I have here?
It's just like, I almost feel like it's just like a parody of life sometimes.
Yeah,
you know?
right? Then there's like the Gardner Museum heist, which is a pretty like I feel like that's a more well-known one. Especially because BuzzFeed Unsolved also talked about it.
Oh, this, yeah.
Yeah, the Gardner Museum heist. So, basically, these thieves, like, hijacked a Federal Express truck, and then they put themselves in, like, the employee uniforms that they stole, and they got stuck in rush hour traffic, and they didn't make it to... Wait, this is a different one. Shit. Why would they mix these two up? Okay, what the fuck? This just said... So there's like... I'm sorry. I need to fucking have a beef with these people who wrote this article. There's this paragraph, and it says, like, number 3. There's this paragraph talking about what I just talked about, and then it goes straight into this, but they're not connected.
Hello?
So, okay, anyways. The Gardner Museum thing. Disregard the last, like, minute of me talking. It was robbed by 2 uniformed men who managed to handcuff and duct tape these guards who were on duty to pipes in the basement. And
it's so, like, cartoony. You
yeah,
know?
for sure. And they stole a Vermeer, 2 Rembrandts, a Manet, 5 works by Degas, and all of that has been estimated to be $500 million worth of art that they stole.
Oh my God.
And, yeah, they're, like, one of the guards was, like, interviewed because they suspected him to be involved, but then he was, like, found to be not a part of it.
Yeah.
And basically, they have no fucking idea who did this or where the paintings are. Like, to this day. They don't know.
Wait, they seriously haven't found any of, like, the Rembrandts?
Yeah, they haven't found any of it. None.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, like, all of those paintings are just gone. Which is insane. Also, this was a private collection, which I don't agree with private art collections because that's like kind of fucked up. It's like that should be in a museum or something so that everyone can see it.
Yeah.
But also, I do not advocate for the stealing of art and then hiding it away forever, because that's also fucked up.
That's also a private collection.
Yeah, that's a different kind of private collection. So it's a stolen private collection.
You know, speaking of Caravaggio,
yeah.
he recently, there was a painting that people didn't realize was stolen of his and didn't know that existed until about a month ago.
Wow.
They found it in some random dude's attic. And he didn't know how it got there.
Oh my god, he was just like, well, I don't own this.
He was
this
like,
isn't mine.
He was like, oh, whatever, like, maybe my grandfather gave it to me, I'm not sure.
Wow. Wow. Maybe his grandfather was an art thief.
Maybe his grandfather is the one that killed Caravaggio.
Oh shit.
And stole some of his work.
Oh my god.
Just wondering.
Here's like almost the biggest heist or art heist in Dutch history. Almost. So close. In 1991, 2 gunmen stole 20 paintings from the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam, reportedly worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And the thieves took 45 minutes to select the works that they wanted, and then 35 minutes later, the paintings were found abandoned in a parked car in front of a nearby railroad station.
What?
Yeah. And authorities were initially mystified by the turn of events because, like, usually when you steal art like this, you don't just put them in a parked car and leave them somewhere. And the newspapers labeled it the nation's strangest art theft. And further investigation revealed that a second car, which was meant to take the robbers and the loot away, like it was a second getaway car, had gotten a flat tire and failed to show up. And with no time to devise a new escape route, the gunmen were assumed to have given up on the paintings and fled, and they were never apprehended.
Oh, wait. Oh my god. Why didn't they just take the car they had?
Yeah, I don't know. They just gave up. They were like, well, too late now.
It's too late now, even though we have a car right here.
Oh my god. Worst art thieves.
I love the stories of, like, bad art thieves.
Yeah, for sure, it's hilarious.
Because it's like, y'all tried.
Yeah. In 1911, Vincenzo Perugia? I don't know how to say that, it's Italian. Wrapped the Mona Lisa in his smock, tucked it under his arm, and walked out of the Louvre. And, yeah, that happened. And then a man perusing art in a British art gallery in 2014 was monitored by surveillance cameras as he stopped in front of a €700 painting, checked to see if anybody watched, and proceeded to shove the piece of art into his hoodie. And when it didn't fit under his jacket, he put it under his arm and walked towards the exit, and naturally gallery staff stopped him from leaving, and he surrendered the painting before leaving.
Oh, he tried.
Yeah. The one that he just walked out of the Louvre with the Mona Lisa under his arm in 1911.
I can't believe that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they found it.
Yeah.
But...
because it's still there.
Yeah. Or maybe it's a fake.
Bum, bum,
maybe they never found it. Maybe that's a fake painting.
There's just, like, maybe in the back of, like, every art museum.
Yeah.
They've just got, like, hundreds of replicas.
Mm.
Of just, like, the paintings just in case they go missing, so they can just, like, do damage control.
There's also a Banksy that was stolen or attempted to be stolen.
Didn't Banksy kill someone?
I don't know. Wait, what?
When I was looking up art murderers, his name was on the list, and I was like, oh. But I didn't read it. So...
Anyways,
off of that subject.
So, like, Banksy does graffiti, if you didn't know, or a lot of graffiti. Some of his work is in graffiti, but this particular one that was attempted to be, like, stolen is graffiti. And so obviously it's kind of hard to steal art when it's attached to a wall. But that didn't stop a pair of people in New Orleans who, in 2014, put a plyboard screen around a Banksy mural known locally as Umbrella Girl or Rain Girl. That's one of his most famous pieces, I think. And residents watched them hacking away at the building, and the men who were doing it told people passing by that the artwork was going to London for a big show. So they're just taking this wall out, and they're like, nah, it's being taken to London. And a neighborhood man grew suspicious, obviously, when the suspects couldn't produce the name of the museum or the owner of the actual building. And the two men fled and left the mural intact.
Oh my god.
And that's not the first time that a Banksy piece had been, treated that way. So in 2006, a gang tried to take a spray painting called Liverpool Love Rat, which is a great name, on the door of an old building. Dressed like construction workers and carrying tools, they were struggling to remove the heavy door when a building employee spotted them, and they ran away empty-handed.
Okay, so update about Banksy.
Yeah, Banksy.
Well, since no one knows who Banksy is, there's no record of him killing anyone.
For sure.
But people are kind of is he a criminal?
Yeah.
But also no one really knows. I don't think he is. I think
I
was just
I think it's just because he vandalizes stuff.
Yeah, I think people just were spreading rumors about him because it's graffiti.
Yeah. Wait, Defunct Land. Here, wait. Have you heard of Defunct Land?
No.
So Banksy, wait, is that Defunct Land? Shit, I can't remember. Here, wait a minute. Let me look up Banksy Disneyland. I can't remember what it's called. Banksy Dismaland. That's what it's called. So Dismaland. Have you heard of that?
No.
So Banksy opened a little theme park. It's like an art exhibition, but it's called Dismaland, and it's obviously a parody of Disneyland.
Yeah.
And he it's really dope. I wish I would have gotten to go. I don't think it's still open, obviously, but I'll put some pictures up in a second. But yeah, it's it's a bunch of fucking social fucking stuff, and it's really cool. I have to put some pictures up. It's a bemusement park.
Oh my god.
It's the UK's most disappointing new visitor attraction. That's what the little pamphlet thing about it says. Yeah, that's so weird that he erected this thing, but then nobody still fucking knows who he is.
Yeah, there have been pictures of him and stuff, but people don't really know who exactly he is because he's good at kind of concealing himself whenever he's working on stuff in public.
Yeah, I want to know.
Yeah, I get that.
I want to know so bad. Also, I fucking love still the the fact that he had that painting at auction that fucking shredded in the frame after someone bought it.
Oh, yeah.
It makes me so happy. Because, Banksy's all about, against that stuff. And then I mean, honestly, I wasn't surprised when that article came out. I was like, yeah, you're trying to fucking buy a Banksy piece. You think that that's gonna fly with Banksy? No, of course he was I'm gonna fuck with people. And
yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, a lot of the sculptures in this fucking Dismaland thing are really cool. They're crazy. Ooh, here we go. I'm saving, a bunch. We're just gonna have a bunch of these put up in a second. Yeah, art theft. Yeet. Is that?
Me.
Yeah, same. There's this weird fucking picnic table. It's, twisted. There's,
Cute.
A lot of, trash and shit.
It's a dystopian Disney.
Yeah, for sure. It's just a fucked up Disneyland. Wow. This, thing that was there says, "Welcome to Disneyland. Life isn't always a fairy tale." Yeah, that's fucking, true. True, Banksy. Wow. I wonder if I can find, there's, also a mural there that's, It's like there's a woman behind a shower curtain. Here it is, and then there's like these two kids like kind of peeking at her. This picture is like a woman with it though, which I think is also kind of funny because like people took photos of themselves like at Disneyland, which is kind of like the whole like thing that Banksy was like was not trying to do. Yeah. Do you have any other weird art things?
Let me think.
As I just put up some pictures of weird Banksy stuff. I love the statue of Ariel that he did in this. It's like really funny. She's like glitching out. It's a huge picture, but like, yeah.
Hang on. Let me go there. Going to the top 10 most criminal artists ever.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's this one of like, God, I hate how the pictures that I put up don't update in the thumbnail until like a minute after because I start talking about it and then it's like, oh, you can't see it.
Okay, so there's this guy. I've never seen his art before. Let me look it up. Because I actually might have, but I don't know how to pronounce his name. He was a sculptor. Benvenuto Cellini? I'm just going to say Cellini.
Yeah.
So, he's worse than Caravaggio in what he's done. So, he was from the same time period as Caravaggio.
Yeah.
And in the 16th century, he killed repeatedly people, like, without remorse and without being punished.
Oof.
He stabbed his brother's murderer to death with a long, twisted dagger that he drove through the man's shoulder. He killed a rival goldsmith. He shot an innkeeper dead. And he recounts all of these crimes in his own autobiography.
Oh, God.
He escaped being executed because he was so admired as an artist.
Wow.
Like, everyone was like, yeah, dude.
Oh my god, they were like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, with Caravaggio, they're like, nah, dude.
Yeah, because everyone hated him.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my god. Just like, yeah, no, that's fine. It's fine. Oof.
Apparently Picasso stole some ancient statues from Iberia. Like, they're in his studio.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they were like found there.
Oh yeah. I did know about that. Never mind.
Let's see. I'm going through like this thing that's talking about all of like these criminals.
Yeah. We could talk about how fucking people have like stolen art from Africa for years.
Oh, that!
That's like really depressing.
What was it? What was the place called again? God, we talked about it in our history.
Yeah, I can't remember the.
It's in Africa,
yeah.
and like it got like burned to the ground. And then like all these people that like burned the place to the ground stole all the art, and now it was all on display in museums in the UK. And just this year, within the past few months, they've been, like, working to return all of the art back to, like, the original country. I'm not sure, like, what country it is, though.
Yeah,
I can't remember. I feel like it might start with a B. My art history teacher would be so disappointed right now, but...
I'm sorry, Lynn.
I'm so sorry, Lynn. Love you, Lynn. There was an artist in the early 20th century. She was British. Her name was Olive Wari. And she was sent to prison after she burned down a tea house. Because she was just like a very extreme person, but her art was like, I guess, like gentle watercolors.
Yeah.
Like very soft. But like I guess like she just had a lot of anger.
Same.
And I guess like she was pretty well known for just destroying buildings.
Wow.
Let's see.
Also, I don't know if anybody out there plays Fallout 4, but this,
Oh my god.
when Lindsay told me the idea for this episode, I was like, I immediately just thought of, I can't fucking remember his name, but there's a character who, like, you have to go and find him or, like, kill him, and you can save him, I think, but, he, like, murders people and then paints with, like, their blood and body parts and stuff, and his paintings are really creepy. I wonder if I can find them. Fallout 4 murder paintings. Fallout 4 murder paintings. Murder paintings. Paintings.
Paintings.
I can spell.
Nice typo.
Yeah, Pikmin. His name is Pikmin, that's right. Pikmin's gallery. Yeah, his paintings are really fucking creepy. But, like, you know, it's cool. Oof, hello. They're actually kind of cool, but, like,
yeah,
they're weird. They're really creepy. Oof.
Me.
Same.
Felt cute. Might delete later.
Yeah, but that's what that reminded me of, because I was just immediately like, oh. But I can't talk about that because it's not a real thing.
It's fine.
I mean, hey, Fallout might become real in a few years after World War III starts, you know.
Valid. I bet there will be someone that paints with body parts.
Oh, for sure. There probably already is, if we're being real.
There was something...
Oof, hello.
God.
Hello there, sir.
I haven't watched it in several years, but have you heard of the show Psychopaths?
Yeah.
Have you watched it?
I have not watched it.
So there's like this whole part of it where they're trying to hunt down this girl, I believe it's a girl, who kills people by turning them into resin dolls.
Ooh. Oh, that's like something off of Criminal Minds.
Yeah, it's like very messed up. But it was such an interesting plot point because she was just like this really depressed artist.
Yeah.
That just like really wanted to like make like the perfect like resin doll, like porcelain doll almost aesthetic.
My favorite episode of Criminal Minds is one where like it's this guy who is making these people into like human puppets.
Oh
and
my
he
God.
he breaks all of their joints so that he can like hang them up on strings and make them dance and shit. It's horrifying. And it like the sound when he like
oh God.
it's so awful. And like, but that's my favorite episode. It's so fucking weird, but I love it.
would never be able to watch it.
Oh, it's so awful. And there's a scene where like he's making them dance, but it's like the silhouettes, and it's like so fucking creepy. Oh my God. There are a lot of weird Criminal Minds episodes. Creepiest Criminal Minds episodes. There's another one that has to do with like weird like making humans into dolls or some shit, of course. Yeah. Because like why would there not be? Oof, hello. Aw, Reed.
It's like a strange horror trope, but it's like
nice.
Not nice, but it's like
it's not nice.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, baby. Criminal Minds. God, I used to watch fucking Criminal Minds all the time. Yeah. Also, Matthew Gray Gubler, who is one of the actors on Criminal Minds,
everyone loves him.
He's amazing, but he also has like directed most of the creepiest episodes.
Oh God.
Like this one that I like looked up creepiest episodes because I can't remember all the names, but there's one where like they've been keeping children, like abducting and keeping these children for like at least 8 years, and like it's so crazy, and they keep them in the basement, and it's really creepy. Wow. Oh, come on. Boy, how do you not have that episode?
I feel like there was something similar with, like, the whole doll thing. I feel like they might have alluded to, like, that kind of trope anyways.
Yeah.
In Insidious at some points.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember any, like, specific times.
Yeah. Ugh. Oh man, now I'm like remembering all of these episodes. Where the hell is it? Oh, come on. I know that it's there. I didn't hallucinate this episode. Oh wow, there's one where it's like a cannibalistic dude. He like
Oh, I've seen this episode.
yeah, and he like they're looking for a missing woman, and they don't know it, but this guy who is there to provide food is like the killer, and he feeds them like, is it like soup or something? But it's human soup, like the meat in it was human, and it's oh god, that scares me so fucking bad. Like I never want that to happen.
There's
to me.
also like
I never want it.
A
in my
cannibal X-Files episode too.
Yeah, there are a lot of weird X-Files episodes.
I think it's like a cult and the woman's running it, maybe.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, no.
Oh my god. There's also what is it? There's an episode of X-Files where it's oh my god. Like it's this weird creature and like it oh my god, what is it called? Scariest X-Files episodes. It's like this really weird, creepy creature thing, and it's really scary, and it still gives me nightmares. Scariest X-Files episodes. Yeah. What the fuck is it? Oh, come on. Wait, is it that thing? No. This thing! Oh, God! Oh, it's so creepy. The Fluke Man. Oh, I can't look at it. I don't want to look at it. God, it's so fucking awful. Oh, just look up X-Files, the Fluke Man, and don't say I didn't warn you. God, it's so fucking gross looking and scary, and I hate it, and it still scares me. Like, I remember watching it and, like, freaking the fuck out, because I watched X-Files when I should not have been watching X-Files.
Yeah, valid.
Yeah, I watched it when I was, like, a kid, and I should not have been watching it.
I don't know what my favorite episode of X-Files is. I love them all so much.
Puppet episode, here it is. Season 8, episode 10. The Lesson? Is that it? Oh god. Messed up marionette scene. Human marionette! Oh god. Please have a picture of it. Oh man. Oh god. I just want to find a picture so I can put it up. Oof. Oh god. I don't want to look at it. It reminds me of how gross it is. Oh man.
God.
Yeah, it's not great. Yeah, you know what? No, I'm gonna stop this. This is gonna give me nightmares. I could put up a picture of the Fluke Man, but I also really don't want to because this will possibly get taken down by YouTube because the Fluke Man is fucking horrifying.
True.
God, the Fluke Man is awful. Ugh. Oh.
Oh my god. You know what I enjoy? The references to like I put up the pictures I make it.
Yeah, I got it.
The references to the Final Pam that is in Fallout 76.
Yes. Final Pam.
For those of you that don't know who the Final Pam is,
you should.
You should.
You should know.
She's
who the
more
Final
powerful
Pam is.
than you. Watch.
She destroyed Fallout 4.
Yeah, she destroyed Fallout 4 and lurks underneath every single game.
Yeah.
It's so look up Monster Factory, Fallout 4,
Yeah.
the Final Pam, and watch all 3 episodes.
It's beautiful.
It's really good. And the video got so popular that Todd Howard like put references to her in the game.
Yeah.
Such as her beloved Rochi, as well as her coffee tin son.
Rochi.
And like he even put like the cleaner that like they were joking about feeding the baby in the beginning.
Yeah.
It was so good. And like they spell out Pam with wood blocks.
Yeah,
I think.
like
There was a
building
whole
blocks.
house. It was great. Metal husband was there.
Metal husband. So good.
So good. So lighthearted. So wonderful. So
Yeah.
not murderous.
Mm. Man, now I have to like go home and watch like Criminal Minds. Cause now I'm like, I want to watch that creepy ass episode.
Now I
again.
have to play Animal Crossing and relax.
Yeah, true. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna like do a painting. Do my final project.
Do my finals.
Yeah,
Oh.
right.
This weekend's gonna be all finals.
Oh, same. No, I have to finish like this colored pencil drawing thing, and then I have to do like a painting for my painting class, and I have to finish like writing a report, and then writing another report, and then study for.
I have 2 papers due on Monday, 3 paintings due on Monday, and
Oh my
then
God.
a drawing due Tuesday. And since my Mondays are 9 to 9, I have to like do everything Saturday and Sunday. But my
God.
Sunday's really busy as well, and I'm like,
Art school is. Oh. To anybody who thinks that art school is like super easy,
it's
No.
not.
fuck off. Fuck right off. It's actually the worst.
Yeah, my best way to describe a
Uh.
critique is if you were to show up for a PowerPoint presentation but naked.
Accurate. Oh my god. Yeah, that's how it feels.
And then you get insulted.
Yeah, and then people just insult your work that you worked hard on for like
Yeah.
a week.
Yeah, so welcome to art school, guys.
Yeah, welcome to art school. Wow, it's been a full hour. We've been getting to like full hours lately.
We have been. I'm proud of us.
Yeah. Only 3 people are watching, but like yeet.
Yeah, that's been our day, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, so next week is gonna be our last episode, May 6th.
Yeah, we need to figure out something big.
Yeah, something
talk
like
about.
really good to talk about.
So, like, hit us up on Instagram.
Yeah, or like
Um,
whatever. I mean, Facebook, I guess. I don't.
Instagram, Facebook, in the YouTube comments.
Yeah,
section.
comment on stuff because we'll for sure see it.
Yeah. If you know us in person, just like
Yeah,
tell
if you know us in person, pull us aside and be like, hey.
Hey, listen, you need to talk about this crime.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to this another fucking great episode of Monster Mash, where we bounced
Yeah.
around from topic to topic.
Caravaggio, Van Gogh, Picasso.
Yeah, I mean, we did
Art
keep on the
thefts.
art theme, so you know.
We definitely did. Fallout 4.
Yeah, Fallout 4 is. I mean, you know.
Criminal Minds.
Final Pam is art.
Final Pam is art, honestly.
Yeah, so just fucking tune in next week for our last episode.
Which we will be back next year.
Yeah.
But it's our last episode of this semester.
Yeah, the last episode for this semester. This isn't like the end of Monster Mash.
Yeah, we'll be back eventually.
It's for sure not the end.
Yeah,
Don't
definitely
worry.
not. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We
We'll
enjoy
probably
this
have
too
like a
much.
better thumbnail next time.
Yeah, and I'm also gonna be putting so many posters around the
Yeah.
school because I want more people to watch us.
Mhm. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
see y'all next week.
Yeah, thanks for watching. And the stream is gonna